I'm going to go ahead and get it started. Welcome to the Not So Real Estate Podcast. We're back here downtown Tulare, baby, in the basement, the underground, making it happen, slinging houses, and whatever else it takes. Woo! Woo! Man, it's a busy day today. We're looking for song lyrics. We're trying to close deals.
Yep.
We're trying to take care of ourselves. It's not easy.
It's not, no. It's never easy.
It isn't.
On the road to, I don't know. What are we on the road to right now?
Discovery,
life, love, the pursuit of happiness.
You know, that I'm actually glad you brought that up. Did we talk about that happiness is actually not an emotion?
It's not.
We haven't talked about
I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast. I know we've talked about it outside of the podcast.
Hey, real quick, before we get going on a tangent, what is the episode? What are we talking on today?
We're talking about
well, we talked about congruency last time. And then we learned something interesting in the last week or two, some terms. What were those terms that we wanted to
hunter and
that's what
farmer.
It is. Hunter versus the farmer.
Yeah.
Who's who, what is it, all that good stuff.
What are the benefits and negatives of both?
Yeah.
Are there negatives? Are
expectations maybe of what you put on one over the other? What does building a team look like with this element implemented?
Family,
yeah, and just understanding people in general, right?
Yes.
I think that's
good verbiage to use when you're describing someone.
Yeah, and I mean, just if you're a hunter or gatherer, hunter or a farmer.
Well, it's the same.
Yeah, I mean, they're both
sort of.
Yeah,
farmers gather.
Yeah, well, and hunters gather.
Sure,
it's true. They do.
Love it. We'll talk more on that, and then we still got the song lyrical royale.
Yeah, I'm having trouble right now. Not gonna lie.
Finding a lyric. Well, I'm gonna put the pressure on you. Then we'll probably end up kicking it up on that, and then yeah, just wanted to bust out the Hawaiian shirt today.
That's very well done.
We had our luau themed team meeting.
Yes, we did.
With the crew. So we'll talk about some wins and some losses on last month, how it shook out, and what we're hoping the shakeout's going to be this next month. Better than it's been in a while, but we got work to do, huh, boys?
Yes, we do. Always have work to do.
That's right. All right, well, let's jump right to the lyrics.
Gosh,
Lewis, you got your lyric ready? I'm going to put it on Reece because if he's going to be sitting there looking for
I put on Reece.
Lyrics, you know? See, pressure's on Reece.
Mine's ready.
All right, go for it, Lewis.
The song's called F Around and Find Out. And then it's kind of a long lyric. It goes, are you mistaking empathy for weakness as if we lose by trying to understand? But not embracing hate or request to dominate doesn't mean that we lack the will to stand.
Oh, freaking A.
Can you say that one more time?
If that hasn't been a journey and an adventure in my own life, I don't know what.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, say it
please?
again, Lewis. That's good, dude.
Yeah, it goes, are you mistaking empathy for weakness as if we lose by trying to understand, but not embracing hate or request to dominate doesn't mean we lack the will to stand.
Yeah. Don't take my kindness for weakness. F around and find out. Right, that was the song title of the. I wasn't telling our audience F around and find out because y'all already know that's the case.
Yeah.
So, good. All right, Reece, you got yours yet?
Yeah, I do.
All right, cool. Then you're going to go ahead and hold on a sec.
Somehow I knew that was coming.
It's my turn, baby. It's daddy's time.
All right, that's fast.
Okay. All right. So we've been on Mac Miller quite a bit. R.I.P. We went over. He was a sacrifice for Ariana Grande and all that good stuff. They're touched on a little bit, just watering that seed.
Just tapped it.
Yeah. Celebrity sacrifice for getting what they want is a real thing, but the only sacrifice that matters is that of Jesus Christ.
Tell him.
Did it all.
Did it. Yep.
Okay. Mine, Mac Miller, R.I.P. Same song as last week, if you guys didn't know. I did Wake Up by Mac Miller. Great jam. And it goes like this. Now every day feeling like the best day ever. Heard it's a long road, but it get way better.
Say it one more time, please.
Now every day feeling like the best day ever. Heard it's a long road, but it get way better. A little money in my pocket, but my eyes on a million.
That's a good one. It's a solid one.
That is solid.
You guys ready?
I'm ready.
So mine is from a little guy named Ye.
Yay or ye?
Whatever one you'd like to say.
Okay.
It's from a song called Power. It goes like this. You ready?
I'm ready.
Screams from the haters. Got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music.
Favor ain't fair.
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's heavy stuff. I didn't realize we were going to come out the gate so heavy today.
Yeah, no. We just came out swinging because that's all we do.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like a...
F around and find out.
I'm like a, I'm like in the home run derby. Just swinging. Unless it's a bad pitch, then we don't swing.
Because it's a ball.
Yeah, exactly.
And we only swing at strikes.
And we only throw strikes.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hope people aren't overwhelmed by all of this, but we're going to have to transition off of it, just the depth alone.
Yeah.
I didn't bring my scuba gear, and I don't know if any of
it's
our
hard
viewers
It's
did
hard
either.
to sit in it.
It is, man.
It's hard to sit in it
It's
for
a lot
too
about
long.
that.
You know? It just...
Hey, you know what? Speaking of sitting in things, what kind of emotions do we have? And why is happiness not one of them?
What kind of emotions do we have? And why is happiness not one of them? That was your question?
Yep.
Well, there's like the 8 emotions.
The 8 emotions.
There's anger.
Mm-hmm.
Lonely.
Fear.
Hurt.
Glad.
Sad. Can't remember the other 2. Or
Anxious.
Yes.
Is that one?
No.
No, it's not. It's not in there.
Okay, anyway, there was one positive emotion out of the 8. Am I?
Yes, that. Yeah.
And what was the positive emotion?
Glad. Yeah.
Out of all of the emotions, we have one that categorizes the positives, and it summed up under glad.
Yeah.
This is what I think is that. Well, I don't know. It's like the nice versus kind thing. Sorry, Caleb, I just accidentally kissed the mic.
Yeah.
But it's like the nice versus kind thing.
Sure.
It's like happiness and joy. But I guess joy is not one of those emotions.
Joy's under glad.
Joy's under glad.
Yeah.
Glad's like a state of being.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Those emotions, they're states of being. And happiness is like a... You know? Does that make sense?
It does. The little bit at the end got me confused, just the sound effects.
It's like a...
Yeah, that was...
type of deal.
I don't know what I've been thinking about that a lot, because
Yeah.
it's like optimistic, happy-go-lucky people. We always want to be happy, and just we're better that way.
Yeah.
But imagine how exhausting it is for people that do always want to be happy-go-lucky when 7 out of the 8 emotions have nothing to do
With happy.
with happy. And then we wonder why, as human beings, we're wrestling our life,
All the time.
always wanting to be happy, always wanting, and they jack us up from the top, right? Everyone wants pursuit of happiness, even all the way back since the Constitutional, right? I mean, media, happy. That's, yeah. But it's just, happiness could actually exist in every emotion. Do you guys believe that?
I get what you're saying. But because it's not necessarily real, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just sort of like it's like smiling when your heart is not. It's a facade. That's a big word, facade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's an interesting nugget to be mindful of.
Think about.
And if we have 8 emotions, what's the goal? What's the purpose of an emotion? Why do we have them? God didn't have to give us them. Why do we have emotions?
Like Shawn said, to guide us. The guides
Emotions guide.
guide us to
Do
live
they-
a full life.
Do they lead?
No, they don't lead, the guide.
Ah. That's it.
There's a difference there.
So we can be okay in our emotions,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't get to be in the driver's seat.
Yes. They're like the difference between like when you're walking a trail and someone's pointing you where to go.
Yeah.
Versus them holding your hand and taking you that direction. Like if you're
Got it.
leading, then you're taking them by the hand and walking them like the Holy Spirit leads us.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're guiding, then you just point and then it's up to the person to walk along that side of the trail or go on another weird
And doesn't
crazy
a
place.
doesn't a guide walk with
Mm-hmm.
or endure?
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
could say.
Sure. Yeah.
So we don't have to let our emotions lead us, but they are teaching us something,
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to tell us something.
and they are trying to tell us something. Yet we're only obsessed with always being happy. You can see a very big divide. Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about
It's not
congruency,
congruent. Big word.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Truth be told, if we don't know some of these things, if we don't have the right like understanding of even keywords in our language,
Right, verbiage.
yeah, like there's power in that. Like if we don't clearly understand,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about clarity. The beautiful thing about clarity is that it doesn't always teach us anything new. It explains it in a way that's new,
Yes.
right? So when we've been in these classes and the information itself might not be new, but the way it's put together and our understanding of it is new.
It's like the Bible.
Yeah.
It's like the Bible. You can read the same passage 150 different times and you will
It
more
changes.
than likely read it differently. Not read it different. Yeah, read it differently.
It'll have a different
You'll have
meaning.
the Holy Spirit will speak to you differently
Yeah. Yeah.
and use different verses in that passage.
Yep. But it's just interesting to me, the deeper in this game of life we get, both real estate and just life in general, like we have to be able to dissect words and understand what they mean before we start throwing them around, because we're teaching our subconscious to operate in a way that our consciousness doesn't understand.
Yes.
So clarity, I think, moves something from subconscious to conscious.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something little that I am understanding, because it exists, whether we consciously observe or analyze or understand, it's still existing
Well, and so many words in the English language don't necessarily explain what you're feeling either.
properly, right?
Like-
It's vague.
Like I was
Like-
listening to Charlie Kirk talk
Mm.
about love. They were asking him.
Mhm.
They asked him a question about like progressive Christianity or something like that, and he was talking about like people displaying things with love, but the word love that they're using is not the biblical word for love. Like their love is like
Well, in truth be told, love has different meanings.
exactly.
right?
Well, that was his point. Is he's like, well, when you go to the Greek, there's 4 different loves.
That's correct.
So there's phileo, agape. I can't remember the other 2, but it's like the romantic one, the father, the parent, kid one,
Mhm.
the brotherly love, which is phileo, and then the agape love, which is like God's love for us.
Mhm.
And so it's like different words in English don't necessarily have a good grasp on what we feel.
Yeah.
English is the worst.
Isn't it kind of wild, though, that that's the way that it is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we dumb down the way that we talk, and we're surprised that we're dumbed down in the way that we think.
Yeah.
It's all connected. So anyway, interesting hot take, but you know, part of it. If I got something out of it, I figure you guys did too, and so will our people listening.
Our bros. Hey, bros.
Our bros and our sisters out there. Cool. Well, let's freaking talk about just the wins of figuring this stuff out. Last week we talked about some multifamily stuff we have going on. We still have some multifamily stuff going on.
Yes, we do.
Trying to get rid of slung. Things we need to learn. We're figuring out.
Yep.
What was the learning lesson do you think that we took away from that 10-plex that we're still wrestling on and trying to figure out?
Can you say that again?
We had this 10-plex. What happened? Why can't we get it sold?
We're locked in too high.
We acquired it too high.
Yeah.
We learn anything now?
Yes.
Do you think it was just due diligence?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, I think we probably are learning that the importance of setting expectations with people up front rather than, not that we promised the world, but like we didn't necessarily.
We overpromised before we had all the information. Yep.
And there's so much that we're like seeing what investors want to see, like, because I'm just thinking the first couple people that were interested, it took us a little bit to get a hold of things when those are things we should get up front when we're pitching multifamily properties. Like,
and give me some examples of what that looks like.
Lease agreements, profit and loss statements,
rent roll,
that kind of stuff that we should have gotten up front and sent that out with our dispo packets, expenses, all of that stuff, which now we are doing, right? We're including that all that stuff. And we didn't necessarily do that with the 10-plex. And not that would have made it better, but I think it also would have helped us to set expectations earlier with the seller. Like, and also be like, see the numbers and be like, okay, have the first response from the person and then try to work it out early rather than now we're however many days in escrow and we're, figuring it out.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's what I took away from it too. And just learned a lot. Still not done. Still could get it sold.
Yeah, true.
So we also found out during due diligence it's an 8-plex that was
converted to a 10-plex.
And it had enough parking stalls to make it a 10-plex, but
not registered, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
Yeah. Well, because we're selling an 8-plex and not a 10-plex. Yeah. So lots of learning lessons.
Yeah, lots of fun things.
But overall, I mean, are we better or worse?
Better.
From it.
Better.
Now we got some freaking fire multifamily dispo packets with the rent rolls, with the expenses, with the cap rates, all that good stuff.
That's right.
Getting it done.
Gonna get it done.
Sorry,
No, it's good stuff. No, it's good. Yeah, what else we learned this week, boys?
I'm looking at you, fool.
I'm looking at you.
I know it's been a long week,
It's been a long week, yeah. It's been a good week, though. Overall, I'd say it's been a good week. Been some good stuff.
It was the first time in a long time, I can say, on this side, between our retail and our acquisitions, we had over 30 escrows.
Sweet. That's freaking great.
Which was really cool to think about. So.
You get a couple more.
Yeah. I agree.
We talked about that last week, too.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, we have to. So that was a big win.
We also learned a lot about each other this week.
Yeah.
Which is always good. I think we do that every week.
Yeah.
But
more and more.
Yeah.
Figuring ourselves out, right?
Getting closer, yeah.
That's
well,
good.
not only to ourselves, but like
the group, the unit.
Group. Yeah, all of our homies.
Yeah.
All of our bros.
Amen to that. All right, now we're on the meat of it right here. Hunter.
The tri-tip.
Hunter gets the Yeah.
The beef.
Yeah. Hunter versus farmer.
Yep.
Heard about that in our Vistage meeting this week over in Fresno.
Yes.
Yeah. yes.
Mm-hmm. Did. What is that, Blake?
What is? You tell me, Reece. What is a hunter and what is a gatherer?
Okay. I was asking you what Vistage was, but hunter versus gatherer. Well, if we're going back to like villages.
Yep.
The hunter is the person that goes and finds the animal, probably shoots it with a bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then the farmers, the people that are back at what the hunters that might have already collected or what the village has, and they're taking care of it. There's a need for both. Which one's more important?
Lewis. That's good. Do you have any other definition of hunter versus farmer?
I guess we can define it in today's terms and what we're specifically
within
talking
our
about.
industry. Probably farmer nurturing the relationships, leads, and stuff that we get into our pipeline.
Yeah,
and then a hunter, someone who's out there looking for new business, new accounts.
Got it. But in all reality, when we got started in this, we had to do both, right?
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's still... Sorry, I moved it away to take a drink. But I think there's still a place you have to do both.
You do. Absolutely.
Especially like when we're talking about retail real estate, you have to do both because...
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure there comes to a point where you don't necessarily have to be a hunter anymore. And...
I'm waiting for that day.
Yeah. I am and I'm not because I feel like there's comes to a point where you're just kind of like... I don't know. You get...
When a hunter stops hunting... he's just typically not his best self either.
Yeah, but like you have to be able to not only find new business, but also nurture your old business because those are your foundation of your business.
Yeah.
And in order to keep growing, you have to
still need that, right?
That client base that's consistent.
Which is hard.
Yes.
Because typically,
fine art.
Well, and personality-wise, typically someone's going to lean one way or the other.
Yeah.
And even the people like us that can say that we're good at both requires an extreme amount of intense energy on one versus the other. We all have a default, but we can all wear a different hat if we needed to for a time. And I think part of growing a team or an organization or even yourself is understanding, am I a hunter or am I a farmer? And even analyzing in this season, am I a hunter or am I a farmer? Because we talked about seasons before, right? No one waves a flag and says, hey, you're leaving one season and entering the next. I need you to put on this hat, and this hat in this season because this is what this season's going to require of you. No one gives us a syllabus outlining that criteria. A hunter and a gatherer, more than likely, when a hunter is doing or I say gatherer, but farmer was the analogy here. Sometimes a hunter can be doing a great job farming, but they don't feel like it because they would rather be hunting. And vice versa. And I think sometimes in organizations and teams, we wear hats that are needed, but we all know more or less what we like or what we'd rather be doing. So I can tell you my thing as I'm growing with all of you guys is, and figuring myself out, is figuring out, well, what do you guys naturally gravitate towards? Because there's not a wrong answer. We need both. We need all the above.
And if we were all one thing, it wouldn't function
correct
properly.
And that's the tough part with a team is because you want to be with people that are like you. But truth be told, to operate in the most effective and efficient way, our strengths need to be slightly different.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing, right? Because you're doing a lot of life with people. We do a lot of life together. We all like each other, thank God. You know?
Yeah.
But we've also had to come face to face with some like, hey, I'm probably better over here. You're probably better over here. What do you think? And then we have the strengths testing, which we've talked about Elise with before on the episode.
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Some of us, we need to figure it out with ourselves before we even know where to fit in. Because I think I'm good here, or I want to be good here, but I'm naturally over here. So I've convinced myself that, oh no, this is who I am. This is what I'm good at. When really, I'm really good over here. I just don't want to be because I think it's cooler to be good at this. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's been me in real estate. It feeds into that congruency thing. It feeds into the wanting to be, not a bad thing. And you can do it for a time, but at some point in your career, you will have to come face to face with, this is what I love to do. And if I want to last, I need to do as much of this as possible. What does that look like for you guys the last 6 months? Lewis, Reece? I mean, you guys are retail real estate agents that have a love and passion for investing and investments. And so you've gotten involved with acquisitions. What does that look like for you guys? Because I know there's agents on here that need to hear just like some real
Yeah. I think that, well, I'll start off by saying I'm more of a hunter than I am a farmer. Mm-hmm. But I can be a farmer. And there's been times in my life where I didn't want to be, but I didn't have any other choice.
What does being a hunter look like to you?
Going out, just outworking the heck out of everyone.
Okay. And
getting out, getting new leads. Just doing what I can in order to bring food to the table.
Yep.
But then I'll try to continue with analogies, even though I'm bad with analogies. When you bring the food to the table, let's say you don't eat it all, mm-hmm. you gotta store it and save it, and I don't like doing that. It's like basically, I feel you. After you cook, you gotta clean up. I don't like to clean up.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think that's what's farming. Like, there's been points in my life where I had to farm, and what I mean by farm in our industry is nurture the relationships. I'm more of the guy like, okay, good, you're good, cool, bye. You're on your own.
Yeah.
That's just how I am.
Right.
But I can't. But one thing about me is I'm able to adapt. And I can be a heck of a farmer, just like I can be a heck of a hunter. But right now in this season, I'd say I'm more of the hunter.
And that's where we wanted you, right?
Yeah.
But you've had to operate as both.
Yeah. Yeah. But I enjoy, dude, I visualize myself, this might be weird, but I visualize myself as like this like lion or cheetah, and I'm just like in the grass.
Yes.
And I'm like
stalking your prey.
Yes. And like it's like no matter what, I'm gonna
nice.
Get it. So
I like that. The lion is it's the thing for me, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, one, because I got one heck of a mane.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point.
I sometimes wonder what a lion's mane would look like if it was curled.
Probably your hair.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the answer you were looking for?
It wasn't actually, but I like it.
Okay.
And yes.
Cool.
But yeah, hunters, are like lion and prowl. Like,
yeah,
we're gonna eat.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna eat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting. And me, and this is where it's kind of opposite. I felt like I needed to be more of a farmer because it was. And this is going to sound bad, and it's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was safer. And I felt like less people would judge me. I feel like less people would be like, he's wild. He's out there. He's doing these. Because that was always me. Don't matter what I'm doing, what I'm in. Like, there's like effort and normal, and then there's like obsession and Blake level.
Mm-hmm.
And obsession can be intimidating for people if they don't have it.
Mm-hmm. Hold. Can I stop you there?
Yeah,
though?
please.
Okay,
This is heavy, good stuff. So let's dive in.
The thing I will say is that I don't think. Well, I think that both the hunter gatherer, like, they're different skill sets, but I think that both of them you can be obsessed in, though.
You absolutely can.
And you have to be. I think. I think that they're both, like, I don't want there to be, while we're talking about this, I just want to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, I feel like both of them, like, the farmer is not the lazy person, right? Is that correct? The farmer and the hunter.
Neither one has to be lazy.
Yeah, no.
And if I'm hearing it right, and actually, it's kind of more of probably my thought, but it feeds into that. You cannot unlock your true potential being a farmer or a hunter unless you live in obsession for a season.
Mm-hmm.
Yet people never want to embark in that obsession journey because it typically costs too much. because it does. Obsession will cost you everything.
Or lack thereof will also.
Correct. Except one gets you what you want and the other one doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of my past and because of everything else, obsession could be viewed as addiction. Could it not?
Yep.
And is it not?
Yeah.
Talked about language earlier, right? If I'm talking to myself, Blake, you got to chill out on real estate, dude.
Because
you have an addictive personality,
it's
and
a balance.
Yes.
We've talked about that.
It's a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
And it's because the Bible calls our life a fulfillment of seasons. We move from glory to glory, season to season, but we don't understand it. So in the new season, sometimes we resent our new self. Not always. Sometimes. Because it's this new person we have to get to know. But that new person that we need to know is the person that it's going to take to get to the next level. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to walk through the desert with that unfamiliar person, which is yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's weighty. And that's when people check out because they'd rather go back to that version of themselves they know and they're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And that typically that version of themselves, more people like because more people know that and they know how to control that person. I know this sounds bad, guys, in some ways. But growth requires you meeting yourself again. Obsession will constantly have you meeting a new person of yourself. And that's why you say, oh, you've changed. Oh, you're different. No, you just didn't keep up with my growth.
Yeah. Like that.
And that's not a knock on you, but this is my path and that's yours. And you have to be okay to not even say that to that person, to just be like, hey, I freaking love you, but you can't, like, just because you don't know me now doesn't mean that my heart's any different. It's just what I allow in and what I allow to stay is different. And you have to be okay to keep going at that point. And as a people pleaser, that hurts and it feels wrong. Have you guys had to wrestle with that? Are you guys in that right now?
I've definitely had to wrestle with that. I think there just comes a point in time, like everyone is running their own race and everyone's growing differently. But there comes a point, I think it's Steve Harvey that says it, that we're breaking through glass ceilings, right?
Yeah.
And we're bringing people along through these glass ceilings, but at some point in time, like the glass ceiling gets smaller and smaller and less people fit through it. And the way I view that,
good.
Like the only way you're going to get through that glass ceiling, if you want to continue to go with that person, is you have to embrace uncomfortability more and more and more. And I think that's what I've experienced.
You have to be willing to hold pain together too.
Yeah.
Jesus says to bear with one another, yet we always want to solve one another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Truth be told, we talk about the hallway. The majority of life is lived in the hallway. The majority of growth and everything that we need to become is in this, is in the hurt, is in the suck, is in the.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's
I don't want to be here right now.
Importance of being both the hunter, experiencing both of them, because I think that I'm definitely more of the farmer. That's like where I thrive at, I think. And I think that has a lot, like, I'm looking at my, like,
have you looked down on yourself for that and wished that you were different?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes, because I see you guys, and you guys are both hunters and just, like, absolute killers.
Appreciate that.
And yes, yeah, you guys are. And so naturally, that's what I want for myself. And so I look back at my career, and I'm like, I've worked hard, but it hasn't been fast growth. Like, it's been steady growth, but it's been
really fast for a lot of people from the outside in, but on the inside, I know how it feels.
Yes,
I know. I get that.
But it's like, but like even, and I'm just gonna talk real right now. Like,
yeah.
We talk about numbers are not important, But, there's some times when I deal with like, why didn't I sell this many houses in my first or second year that I was in real estate? Because that's what,
Yeah, and I think it's good that you bring that up because there's different business people who are like, well, you can't say, I love numbers. Let me say that.
Yes.
But I can't put my identity
yes
in the numbers.
And so that's what I kind of go through. But I look at it's like when I have to take a step back and look at things because I'm like, I'm 21 years old. This is more than I know what to do with, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, I see you guys and all you guys talk about and what you accomplished. And I'm so thrilled that you guys accomplished that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, well, what's wrong with me? Why didn't I, But I think it's because I think I naturally thrive in farming. I have great relationships with all my clients. And I, haven't ruined any relationships with my clients. I think they'll be repeat clients moving forward. Mm-hmm. But it's been slow growth, And right now, I'm fine with that. I don't need to have fast growth. Like, what would have been the difference between what I did and if I sold 30 homes my first year?
Right.
I probably wouldn't have any of the money I made anyway. Yeah. So it's
you wouldn't. I can confirm that.
Yeah, no. So I'm just like, well, God, you probably didn't give that to me because I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And I'm probably still not ready for it at this point, So.
But I'm on the path.
To figuring it out.
Same.
And He's going to give me however much is mine.
Amen. What's the saying about the portion?
Whatever's our portion's our portion.
Won't ever be taken.
Won't ever be taken.
Anything taken was never ours in the first place.
It's true.
But anyway, yeah, I just that's what I've been thinking about.
I think that you are a hunter in a way.
Yeah.
Because what you have, a lot of people don't have, and that is consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I think that having consistency, like we've all gone through it. We've had rough patches. What do we do?
Yeah.
Do we just stop what we're doing, or do we continue doing what we need to do? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that because you're really inconsistent with things, I would say you're a hunter.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
would
my
say
opinion.
the way that we hunt could be different.
But
That's
doesn't farming require consistency as well?
I would put consistency more in the farmer, to be honest with you. I would even say, and this could be totally wrong, and I think it's under both, but let me rewind this, actually, go to the way that counseling taught us to talk. I can say from my experience that I can be inconsistent and still be one of the best hunters.
Mm-hmm. Well, sorry, you finished.
No. I resented that about myself. I've resented some inconsistencies that I see with myself. I've resented my lack of discipline on things. I've resented certain elements of myself that I thought I needed to be the best at in order to succeed in real estate, and it's not the case. It's like the saying, if a fish was graded on their ability to climb a tree, it would live its whole life thinking it was a failure. And so I'm wondering what people out there in the world got put in an environment and graded incorrectly, not knowing that they should be in the water somewhere and they're over on land,
Well, and consistency is for both, right? Because if you're a hunter,
you need both.
You have to know how to be consistent, because if you're hustling and hunting all the time, you're going to get burnt out. But if you have good consistency and endurance, then
pain tolerance.
Yeah. Then you, but all at the same time, as a farmer, you have to, well, I would say, I don't know. You have to be consistent for both of them.
If you're living in obsession, you're going to be needing all of those things in either one of the camps.
Yes.
It's just everyone's journey of success looks differently. It's when we start comparing our journey to someone else's, or our timeline to theirs, our skills to theirs, what we believe an industry requires to be successful and what that looks like. It's the thief of comparison.
Well, and I think that's what I struggle with.
It.
I struggled with. I don't think I struggle with it anymore over the past couple months. I've kind of learned that, like, I don't need to put myself in anyone else's shoes. Yeah. You get
to fill your own too, and it be enough.
Yeah. More. Yeah. Exactly.
Amen.
Well, that was. Yeah.
That's my prayer, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, you've given me these 2 feet. You say to be the hands and the feet. Who sounds funny, but who I want to be is actually secondary to who you want me to be, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So even in my misunderstanding, help give me insight and wisdom and discernment to just see enough to help me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we always ask God for everything when we know that God operates one step at a time because he knows our humanity. Our humanity gets in our way. If we knew the script from the beginning, it would jack up the way we live our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
But God has a script, and he knows.
Yeah.
What does God do better than anyone and anything else? He bears with his people. Even a creator, let's talk about robots and AI and all that stuff. Even the creator of AI, at some point, their goal is to fully be in control of what that AI does. And like God, a creator, gives us a choice in it, but fully knows where we're going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's hard for people because it's like, well, how could a good God
and walks with us the whole way
know where we're going to end up? Still want all of this stuff, we think, from us, not knowing that all he wanted was an acknowledgement that no matter what you go through, I am there.
Mm.
I am such a good God. I will give you an experience contrary to what you think you need because I know. And then there's the trust. And then there's the faith. And then there's the walking it out.
Mm-hmm.
But truth be told, that dialogue right there with your maker is enough to understand this life is not about me. And it never was. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. When I'm anxious, when I'm about to have a breakdown, I have put everything on myself and think that I am the maker, the creator, and the ender of anything good or bad in my life. And to me, that is a dangerous place to be because that is me saying, I think I know better than God.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we all get there.
I think we know.
Every time. And it requires a breaking. Get put back together all over again.
Mm-hmm. It's like in Avengers Age of Ultron, Thor says nobody has to break anything. And then Ultron says, clearly you've never made an omelet.
I'd never seen that movie,
Mm.
but that makes a lot of sense to me. Just that line alone.
Yeah. Eggs are good, but they're better when they're cracked, baby. I'm a cracked egg, baby. That's why I'm so good.
God wants the omelet. He doesn't want the
And
raw
this
egg.
episode brought to you by Eggland's Best.
Not sponsored.
And now brown cage-free eggs, 12 and 24 pack. Available in 36 and 48 at your local Costco. Eggland's Best. The best egg comes from the best chickens. And we got the best chickens.
I only eat caged eggs.
Well, I think they got those too. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
That was all deep, man.
Can we talk about the dynamic that we've built?
Can we? I'd love to.
Okay. You want to start it off?
No.
Or you want me?
I want you to start it off, Lewis. It was your idea.
Thank you, Reece.
You're welcome.
So we can agree that we're all hunters, but we just hunt differently,
Ooh!
right?
No, I think I'm a farmer.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's
Let's
I take
talk
it back.
about...
I take it back then. We can all be hunters.
I think it's both,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand
Mm-hmm.
where Reece is saying
I have
farmer.
been both.
You
have to be both. But I
You-
think my natural skill set is being a gatherer or a farmer or whatever.
Yeah,
I think that's where I thrive in.
correct.
Yes.
I would say the same thing for Cade.
Mm. Did we just ruin your whole thing?
I was thinking.
Lewis is like, nah, we're not talking about this anymore.
Hunt, but I mean, that's part of the dynamic.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Lewis is like, no more dynamic
I was
conversation.
thinking of
We just ruined you.
funny. No,
it's good.
You're good.
Because there's still strategies here. Let's talk about the different hunter types.
Let's do it. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Off topic real quick. So you said you're a farmer, and then I just thought of Nacho Libre because he was a farmer, because his job was to take care of the orphans.
Right.
And then one day, we won't go into it, but if you haven't seen it.
And that makes sense.
Can we talk about the Chicago title experience the other day?
Oh yeah. All right, real quick. So we were in Chicago title.
Okay.
And then Reece started to sing the song.
Where was that? Oh.
Yeah, in Fresno.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember.
Can you give a little snippet of the song?
When the fantasy has ended and all the children are gone, something deep inside me.
Okay, we'll leave it right there. So
helps me to carry on.
Pause. All right, stop it, like Blake said. Anyways,
that was the best part of the song.
I don't know why we went on there, but anyways, he was a farmer.
Yeah.
So as far as our dynamic,
hoorah!
It's been cool to it's been really awesome to identify the who's and what we're all great at, because we can do, every single one of us can be a hunter and a farmer, right? I think that's what's really cool, is that we can all adapt.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we're able to identify and accept, you can identify, but there's another.
You have to accept it. Yeah. Sure.
Has been such a big benefit to the team. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you, Blake, you're out there hunting for money lines. You know that's a huge job in itself. We can bring a property, but if we don't have the money, then property is meaningless.
No bueno.
So that's been cool. Like but you can also nurture the lead. You can also dispo the lead. You can do all that stuff, but you thrive in that area, which is insane. Like, I think that's super cool. And then
thank you, dude.
With you, Reece, you can go out there and get deals. You can go out there, but I think that and it's been cool, because I think, Blake, you mentioned this, like, you have this like gift, dude, to put things together and like really tell a story with the packets that you're doing.
Thank you.
And dispo the deal.
Thank you.
But yeah, you can do everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And then Cade, like you said, he can do the same things, but I think his passion is like just having everything, keeping track of everything, gathering everything, organizing everything.
Yep.
And then
it's a little unfair that you can do all of them really, really well. You.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I can, but thank you.
I think you really can. Anyway,
thanks.
Continue. Say whatever you were going to say about you. I was just wanting to throw that.
No,
in.
And we do call Lewis the closer.
He is the closer
around here.
Yeah.
For acquisitions, without a doubt. But
sure.
I think dispo has a lot of closing in it, and that's why you're going to have to be a big part of it. It's funny. I think both of you guys will just live there, and it's just a combo of creating the dispo packets and then sending them out and having those. Both of you guys will be in though.
But I bring this up because, like, recently we went to the Vistage group, and there was I want to say there was two people that were like, they were having trouble identifying the who's in their company. And what clicked in my mind and like was grateful for was the fact that we were able to identify that really quickly and also accept it.
I think the biggest, longest journey we've been on, Lewis, and this whole thing is we plugged in the who's to what needed to be done instead of plugging in the right people.
Yeah.
You know, and I think every company and team has to go through that. But at some point, by the grace of God, you start recognizing that, like, we have to feed each other's strengths and stop putting expectations of what we need on other people. And that's hard as a leader.
No.
Because you just need them to be this and that and, you know, for this or whatever. At the end of the day, people are going to do what people are going to do. So you just have to get really good at understanding who people are to be a leader. And a leader can't understand who people are unless they can understand themselves.
Yeah.
And so the reason that I embarked on the journey that I'm on right now with all of you guys and that I started earlier is because I realized I can't be a good leader unless I understand who I am. And it's through that discovery that I'm like, okay, this team in real estate, I know everyone's got training programs and scripts and all of the other stuff, but we're going after the whole person, because if 70 or 80% of agents drop out after the first 3 years, there's something missing in our industry that isn't being talked about or isn't being serviced.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the house.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
And so that's the Shawn team in a nutshell.
That's why it's so. That's like you said, like our last podcast we talked about congruency. Like that's why it's so important to know who you are and know who created you and to know what your purpose and meaning is.
Yeah, and the pursuit of it is enough. God will help. He sees your action. You know, man, it is the end of the day. It's been a crazy week. We'll do the
little hat turn.
Yeah, do a little hat turn.
I don't know, like, and we'll identify what's
let's have Caleb throw out random people, and we will categorize them as a hunter or a farmer.
Throw out movie characters. Yeah. Movie characters. Do it. Hit me. Thanos.
And we have to say it out loud. Who? Caleb said.
Thanos.
Spider-Man. Oh, frick! Farmer. Is Spider-Man a farmer or a hunter?
Farmer for sure.
Farmer because he saves people. I don't know. I haven't really seen
That's
Spider-Man.
not why.
Because he makes webs.
So here's my reasoning. End of Spider-Man Homecoming. Tony Stark asks him to become an Avenger and join and live at Avengers campus. And he says no because
taking care of his city.
He wants to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So he is not a hunter. He is a farmer. But over the course of that movie, he wanted so badly to be a hunter. He wanted so badly to be on the Avengers team. That was his. But then when he got there, he realized he learned so much about himself over the course of that movie that he realized he was a farmer.
Didn't want to.
Yep.
That's deep, dude.
All I do is go deep.
But if Spider-Man...
What are you laughing about? What were you going to say? What are you laughing about?
I'm trying to see if this face looks like I'm just about to sneeze or laughing.
Oh, okay.
It's like you smelled something really bad.
Okay. What were you going to say if Spider-Man what?
If Spider-Man like lived his whole life thinking that if he wasn't an Avenger, he wasn't a superhero. Like, would he continue to save people the way that he does, just thinking that he wasn't good enough, or would he eventually stop?
No, he did. He stopped at the end of. Yeah, he did.
What does that tell you, Reece?
Wait, I'm confused. So, are you telling me that I'm Spider-Man?
No.
Oh.
Well, maybe.
I could be. All I'm saying is you've never seen me and Spider-Man in the same room together.
You should clip, real quick, Caleb, you should clip that video, this hat like that, and he's like, so are you telling me that I'm Spider-Man?
That's a gold clip right there.
No, it's good. But I think I shared this with you guys. I thought I wanted to sell 100 houses a year until I understood what selling 100 houses a year meant.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Over the course of Spider-Man Homecoming, that's what he thought. He thought he couldn't be a superhero unless he was an Avenger. Like, that was his end goal. But then at the end of the movie, Tony Stark's like, yo, bro, you're about to be an Avenger. And he's like, nah. That's what he told him. He literally said no. And he left.
And is that a knock on him?
No. Props.
He knows
much respect. He figured out who he was.
Yeah.
So you're saying not everyone's supposed to be a part of the Shawn team?
Yes, I am saying. I mean, that wasn't what I was saying, but I do agree with that statement.
No, it's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I love it, and it's true, because I talked about people pleasing a lot. I wanted everyone to be on the Shawn team. Oh, no. I want you. Now I'm like, no, I think there's like a handful of people that are supposed to be here. And anyone outside of that, like, God bless you. I know that there's good things that can come for you. and over your life, but it's just not going to be here or come from me. And instead of making that person the enemy, I just get to love them differently and from a distance. And I don't need to explain it.
Very well said.
But you know how much energy it's taking me to change my brain to convince myself that I don't have to explain to that other person that they're still awesome, but this isn't the place for them? Like, I don't need to explain that.
Yeah.
How many things do we explain that we don't have to?
A lot.
Why do we do that?
I think it just comes down to people pleasing.
We all want to be accepted, man. Deep.
It is deep. I will say, though, the Spider-Man example doesn't really speak to that because he does actually end up becoming an Avenger when he's in space.
Yeah, but you see how out of this freaking world it had to get in order for him to become an Avenger?
That's a very good point.
Literally had to.
Yeah, because he was saving the neighborhood because the aliens were all up in his biz.
Yep.
And they went to fight, and then he ended up in space, and he's like, all right, I'll be an Avenger.
There will be a fake alien invasion in 2024 next year.
Dear God. The Nephilim.
All right. No, we're not. I'm just going to say that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
2024. 2024 next year. You guys heard it here first.
Are we going to do another character or no? Was that those?
Yeah, one more character.
Right.
We're running out of time. One more character.
Make it a Marvel character, I dare you.
Oh, frick. Lewis, what did he say?
He said Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
I've never really watched it, so I don't really know.
What did you watch when you were a kid?
Disney Channel shows and Marvel movies. And I watched VeggieTales a lot. You want me to sing you that song?
I do love VeggieTales.
Because
That's
it's
good stuff.
VeggieTales, 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 VeggieTales. Have we got a show for you?
Scooby-Doo. I don't know. That one's hard.
I'll sing from the beginning while you think. If you like to talk to tomatoes. I don't remember the rest of the song.
I feel like we're on the...
Yeah. I'm about to start making like noises.
All right. Scooby-Doo, I am...
Do you guys want me to sing the Scooby-Doo song?
I don't know how to answer.
He's a hunter.
Yeah.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
I don't even have an explanation, and it's too... we went so deep on Spider-Man.
It's because he's a dog. Woof.
That's it. Scooby-Doo is a hunter because he's a dog.
Woof. What's that song from? I'm a dog. Woof. It's from a rap song.
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, next week's verse of the week. Lyrical Royale next week. We can maybe do that one. All right. Well, we know what we're talking about next week, boys. Talked about it's been congruency, and then we talked about hunter versus farmer. Next week, it's a big deal.
What are we talking about next week?
Yeah.
Self-care.
Oh, that's right. Congruency, hunter versus gatherer, self-care. What does it look like to take care of yourself and be an entrepreneur? What does it look like to take care of yourself when you're growing? And does self-care change in different seasons of life? That's what we'll be breaking down. That's
Break
good
it
stuff.
down. Woof.
Break it down.
I'm a dog.
Well, that's this week's episode of
The Not So Real Estate Podcast.
This is Blake.
This is Lewis.
And I'm a dog woof.
And we will see you next time. Let's go.